It is Dave here from Amplify, and I'm talking to Luke Hodgson and Graeme Pogson, who are founding members of a band called Mondo Freaks. And
G'day, Dave.
if you don't think they're Mondo Freaks, listen to this half hour and you'll probably find out that they exactly are. How are you guys?
Really,
Great, thanks.
That's good. So, first question is, how'd the band come together? But before I ask that, I noticed that you brought out a single in like 2016 and then you didn't bring out any music for 9 years. I was just wondering, that's not common. I do a lot of interviews and it's not common to see that. It's common to see a space in something. Someone's been going for 10, 15 years and they stop for 10 years and come back, but not usually. I'm not sure. When did you start? Tell us a bit about that, where it came from.
if I just jump in and kick it off, it's even longer than that. So the fact that we have an album out is actually, a miracle.
Historic.
We started this, Graham. Would you say 2009?
Yeah.
Yep, 2009. This band began. That single that came out in 2016 was actually something that we'd probably even. I think we even began. We've always tinkered with original music. This began as a cover band. Everybody involved is kind of a session musician of sorts. So we've always played with other.
Poor man, Melbourne Scar, is it?
Yeah, well, it's a completely different genre, but we would get together, play residencies, doing our favorite covers of this sort of era of music. So like late 70s, early 80s, funk, disco, and whatnot. We would always tinker with writing, but it did take a while just because you get caught up with life and other things. But originally that first single, which is called Love Rain Down, that exists because of, well, in a way, a band that one of Graham's other original projects, it's called GL, was signed to a label at the time that put out a compilation record, which included this Mondo Freaks song. So that was an excuse to kind of get it going. But then I guess we went away again for a while. We've sort of dipped our toes in
But
being
the 10 people have always been the same sort of 10 people?
pretty much. With any large band, you are susceptible to fill-ins if something comes up, like a
No,
particular
I get
tour.
that. But
Yeah.
you've got a unique story because there's no one like I can imagine GL did stuff and I can imagine you being a part of another band and doing something silly on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
But generally that's just you and you go to another band and they do something and you just turn up to do something and then go back to your major project. But you don't have 10 people that are sort of hanging around just waiting, or I don't know what they're doing. You're saying, I understand how life can get in the way, but generally it doesn't get in the way of 10 people at the same time. You've got different people that are after different outcomes. And if you've got two people, it's hard, let alone three and four, 10.
That's right.
Jesus,
Well, I think the fact that, this group of 10 people have been around the longest time, everyone has always acknowledged, I guess, the joy that it does bring when we do get in the room together. So that's why we're still here, and we're so proud to have actually achieved something and getting it going again.
By all means. Well, if you're gonna listen to it, now you've got a reason to listen to it because it's a unique process. By the way, Graeme doesn't talk. Graeme's mute. He's just here he's going to give some sign language soon.
No.
He's either going to say
yeah.
down or whatever.
Well, I'm the drummer, right? Like generally that's the vibe, yeah. The drummer doesn't really say much.
The drummer. No, it's usually the bass player. It's usually, that old,
Yeah, sure.
oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me last night. What happened? Oh, it's unbelievable. What happened? He says, oh, I slept with this guy. He said he was in the band.
Go easy. Bass player jokes,
I
Dave.
said, yeah, I said, really? What was he doing? He was the fucking
I'll
bass.
shut my laptop screen.
There you go. But you've heard that before. Probably different versions. There's probably a drum version that's out as well. Okay, how would you describe your sound? Funk and boogie. Does that describe it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And has
Yeah.
it always stayed that way? Has it always been like technology changes from 2009 to 2025? And so has technology sort of motivated you to write differently or go down a different path, or do you just keep on, it was basically a cover band and you just kept on doing the same thing, except now you're doing a few originals?
Well, I mean, we always like the band's so big because a lot of those productions that we were playing the covers of are huge productions from a time when the recording
Yeah,
studios,
of course.
there was a rhythm section, there was two guitars, two keyboards, at least, multiple singers, percussion, sometimes strings and horns as well, which we've never actually done that far. Ten's enough. But we also love electronic funk music, and I own a Lindrum, and we have a lot of old gear. So that single that we put out in 2016 is actually drum machine on the Lindrum, synth bass mixed with slap bass, which is a real like thing of the time, top box. So we actually went for more like an electronic 80s funk sound because we're big fans of Zap and Cameo and all that kind of stuff. But then, I mean, even though when we recorded the album, it was several years later than that, we did it in a very traditional style, all live in the room together at Sing Sing, which unfortunately now doesn't exist anymore. And we,
Who can afford it? Who could afford it?
yeah,
It wasn't very cheap.
well, yeah. I mean, it was Sing Sing. The big Sing Sing had already closed, and we were
Okay.
in Sing Sing. We used to be Metropolis. Still expensive process, but worth it. I mean, there's
Especially
very
when you've
few.
got 10 people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
expensive.
totally.
But the room
But we did
cost the same. The room cost the same if you had 20 people or one in there. So
But the time it takes,
yeah,
the
when
time.
you're trying to record everybody, everybody's whatever. And usually you've got someone outside doing something in in a little box that they've got. And, when you've got people shuffling around and coming in from outside after having a smoke, it must be a pretty challenging sort of paradigm.
We're gluttons for punishment, but
Of course.
we think it's worth it.
Well, look, it's all worth it because basically your life is your life, whatever that
Yeah, that's right.
is your life. So how did you fit GL in that whole process? Was it like because GL was a decent sort of process? How did you fit that in, or was that just something that you sort of you've got a passion. What's your passion?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, we're all pretty good at juggling multiple bands. Like, I also play in the Bamboos, which is another 10-piece band,
Yep.
and quite a busy project. Luke and I both played in a band called Harvey Sutherland. I mean, Luke plays with 100 artists, touring constantly. So
Okay.
it's all a juggle, and sometimes one thing takes priority over another.
That's probably
And
why it took 10 years, though, or for 20 years or whatever,
exactly.
because basically you're doing a whole lot of other stuff. And this was like a play project rather than a focus project. And it's only now, after all this time, you sort of said, why don't we make an album out of all this stuff that we usually muck around with? And it's
That's
got,
it.
Exactly.
and it's got
And,
some
and everyone in the band is in the same
interesting.
boat. I mean,
It's
you've
interesting
got
to look at. Like when you
mm,
look at it, it's an interesting project. You don't realise, possibly looking at it, that there's solid musos behind it in a sense. You think it's, maybe just 10 people and, they're just at different stages. They've just come together because I see a lot of music and all that sort of stuff. And, most of it comes from, people that think they're musicians. And, when I listen to it, I think, okay, you know, maybe there's a P in there or a G. I'm not sure that there's an M and a U and an S for that. I couldn't really say that. I'll never get anyone coming here. So it looks like an interesting project, and I thought, even to look at it and all that sort of stuff, it does. It doesn't look like a poor man's Scar because it looks like its own sort of version. It looks legitimate. So I'm just saying, for anybody that's turning up here listening to this, don't turn off because I'm asking all these questions.
Yeah.
All right, quickly, who were the artists? You said something about who, well, there's probably no need. Actually, some of these questions are probably more related to a band that's dedicated band all the way through, because then the reflections are going to be something about how, but yours is more a backward forward sort of process. So you've probably got influences for your own situations that don't really relate to Mondo Freaks so much. Would that be fair?
Well, I think we'd all have a collective amount of influence going into this particular project, but then we'll have our separate stuff.
Yeah.
So what would the question be like? Well,
usually I'd say, what artist's music or performance sort of inspired you to create this music of yours, to keep making albums and all that. Was it someone from the 80s or 70s, or is it someone today? Who's feeding the
Well, definitely both 70s and 80s. This project does kind of sit in that area. I guess this version, this album, this era of Mondo Freaks is inspired by that kind of production, late 70s, early 80s, pre-sequencing. We love Chic. Graeme did mention bands like Zap and Cameo before. We love Chic. We love bands like Change, the SOS band. It is our love letter to that kind of moment.
Okay. Let's talk about Mondo Freaks. The album's come out. How many tracks?
8 tracks on the album.
8 tracks. What are the signature tracks? If you were saying, I want you to listen to my album, and I said, look, I've got 10 minutes. What can I, what 2 tracks am I going to listen to? What would you tell me?
You'd only have 10 minutes for 2 because they're all long in that sort of disco form. But I would say a track called Won't You Decide, which features our keyboard player and singer Aaron Mendoza.
Yeah.
And another track called Turn This Love Around, which features Jade McRae.
Okay, and which are your favourites? Do you have favourites, or do you love them all the kids the same?
What do you reckon, Graeme?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the same. Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of variety. We have 5 singers. So the band, has a sound. We recorded it all in one session, but every song has a different vibe. And they're all great. Proud of them all.
No, but again, it's a bit different, isn't it? Because a normal album comes out and there's 3 or 4, feature tracks, maybe a couple of videos, and someone's trying to push those through and they get all the plays. Whereas you guys are sort of bringing out an album of stuff, and every track's something that you want to play, sort of thing. So every track, unfortunately, I've got to take more than 10 minutes and listen to more than 2 songs. Not unfortunately. Okay, you got a launch party at Howler in Brunswick on the December the 12th. What are you looking forward to? What can the fans expect?
It's very exciting. We have done, since the start of the year, we've had 2 different launches for different things. It is hard, as we've already discussed, a 10-piece band, getting everybody together to actually celebrate something. It is a challenge. So this is our 3rd headline show of the year. It will be a party. We've got our good friends Wrong Way Up. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're fantastic sort of Afrobeat electronica act. Our friends from Northside Records DJing throughout the night. So it's going to be a funk-centric party night.
Good stuff. So fans, what other stuff's coming up? What other tours, events? Anything else, or is this it for Mondo this year?
This is it for now. We're in discussions with a few things. We've, also been a pickup band for some American acts of this kind of genre when they've come to Australia before. So we're always discussing possibilities of other people coming out. I can't name any names, but
I can't imagine that the 10 of you are going to tour successfully over in the States or Europe or something, because touring is a pretty expensive process, and I just don't imagine that everyone, unless there's someone that's got into crypto at the start and they've become billionaires or something. Maybe that's a bit of a challenge. Okay, so if you could perform, both of you are so you've both been music. You must have been musos for even before 2009. You must have been musos pre that, I presume. If you could perform with any music artist, alive or dead, who would you choose and why? And the dead one would have to be alive to be playing.
Yeah.
Just sit there dead.
Look, I would love to be on stage with Prince. Whether I'm getting fined, scolded, or having a good time. It'd all be a story, wouldn't it?
Well, you wouldn't get on stage with Prince because he had a few bodyguards, so you wouldn't even get him close unless you were allowed to. What a superstar!
Yeah. Graeme?
Graham, what about you?
Oh, I never really thought about it, to be honest.
You haven't thought
Um,
about performing with anyone else? Like, a
I mean,
stadium's
look,
full,
I already did
car's
it, to
full
be
with
honest.
Lady Gaga,
No,
sit up
absolutely
there
not.
with the crowd.
Graham's waiting for
I
that
already
US
did
tour
it.
with Mondo Freaks.
Yeah, I did it. I got to play with Evelyn Champagne King. She's my favorite artist of all time. Mondo Freaks were her band twice on 2 tours. So I'm cool.
You've done it. You've
I,
done it. You've done it. You take
yeah,
God, you can Graham. He's ready. He's ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay. Let's finish with some quick fire stuff. All right. First of all, let's just say, grab the album. When the album just came out, didn't it?
Came out last Friday, the 17th of
Last
October.
Friday. So grab the album. Go see the show on the 12th of December. That'll be pretty cool. Let's finish with some quick fire stuff. What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Whoa. Um, Geez. I don't know. I recently just went on a cruise ship to do some kind of last minute blues gigs on a blues cruise and went up to Alaska. That was pretty wild.
Mad, mad.
I flew to LA for 2 days to see Van Halen, and then came back
Ah,
That's good.
at the Hollywood Bowl, and turned out to be their last gig with Eddie. So there you go.
well, you talk about guitar. There's no better guitarist that's picked up a guitar than that bloke, I would think, or he's got to be in the top five or something or other. What a
That's it.
superstar.
Yeah.
What's a topic you can talk about for hours? I had someone, just a sec, I had someone there with the craziest thing. I was talking to, who was it? Well, I can't remember now. And he says, 30 year, he's been around 30 years, whatever, in the band. And he says, 30 years ago or 35 years ago, I went to, the Sydney Harbour Bridge and they never used to have a tour up there. But I jumped a fence or something or other and I scaled the Sydney Harbour Bridge and I hung from the rafters at the top or something or other. And I'm going, fucking serious. I mean, that's got to take the cake. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing.
Wild.
What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
Baseball.
You're a baseball. Yep.
American baseball.
Oh yeah, big time. Well, actually, Canadian baseball. Thank you very much. Blue
Oh,
Jays World Series, first time in 32 years. But I know we don't have much time, so I'll
Well,
leave it there.
well, go on, Luke.
Look, it's definitely music. You get me on the right topic, and I'll prattle on for forever.
Now, I like to talk, as you can see. We had a guy coming out from the States and we took him, I'm a Collingwood supporter, we took him to a Magpies game. So he went on back there and he sort of tried to he couldn't remember what the bird was and he sent me an Orioles cap, with the
Oh, yeah.
the robin on
Awesome.
the, oh dear. Oh well, But baseball, how can they pay blokes 80 and $100 million to hit a ball? It's not,
It's crazy.
it's
It's
crazy.
going through too. But I mean,
Americans do crazy things. Can you believe what they're doing? What's the thing you like
it's
most
not
about?
American that got the money.
What's that?
The high Japanese. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the thing you like most about yourself?
Ooh. Um, I don't know.
You've got a mullet, haven't you?
I do. Well,
That's got to be. That's got to be.
I'm actually very proud of that. So thanks for.
You know how we said the last Eddie Van Halen? I think that's the last mullet. I think we stay in captivity.
I'll stick with my mullet. I'm proud of that.
The mullet, yeah. All right, Graham.
Oh,
What do you like about
um,
your glasses?
yeah, that's right. My glasses.
Okay, here we go. This is all time or just current? Favorite album?
I'm going to go with have you ever Electric Ladyland, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, 50, 60 years old. Sensational. Graham?
Favorite album.
People don't like these questions.
Yeah, it's tough.
Could be different tomorrow.
Crystal, Getting Ready. I love that album. The weird 1984 girl group, Crystal.
Favorite artist?
Prince.
Oh, well, he's probably a lot of people's favorite artist. Graham?
Um,
Does
I
he
would
look like he's
say,
supposed to talk when you finish?
yeah. Honestly, Evelyn Champagne King.
That's
Love
good.
her.
Favorite movie?
Hmm. Gosh, these are so hard. How do
They
you?
are.
Gosh, I'm not sure. I'm gonna say pass. I don't have a favorite movie.
Haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's pretty good. Graham?
uh, um, Rookie of the Year.
No, it had to
That a
be
baseball
baseball
movie?
this week. Favorite place to visit? Where do
Japan.
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 Japan is cool. It is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japan's incredible.
It's incredible. Clean. God.
Yeah.
I don't think I could. They wouldn't let me back. Favorite venue to play?
Look, it's been a while since I played there, but I am double dipping here with the advertising the gig. But at Howler, I love Howler.
How is cool.
Howler.
Wrong with how?
Yeah.
Howler's great, yeah. Yeah, I love Howler. I love playing at the Nightcat. It's so unique. I've played there for 20
The
plus.
audio is good there.
Yeah, they really fixed it up. It's crazy. It's amazing having people all around you. It's great to see gigs there. You get to watch drummers from a different angle that you never get to see. I've always loved playing there. It's great.
Favorite food?
I love delicious Italian cuisine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of a Chinese sort of a aficionado, but I draw the line at certain animal products. Yeah, Chinese.
Favorite drink?
Can we say beer? Is that all right? Or?
You can say whatever you want to say, man.
Yeah.
Your interview. You can,
Yeah, it's true.
you
Yeah.
can say you drink your own whatever, but you know we won't. May not. You know it may not. The fans may not like it. I'm not sure.
I love a crisp beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
What brand?
Like it goes in
A lager or a?
lagers. I'm definitely a lager person. I've been enjoying. I did go to Japan earlier this year, and I've been enjoying when I see a 6-pack of Orion Draft.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Dave, you might like this tidbit. Luke went to Japan to play with Todd Rundgren.
Really?
Yeah, he's played with Todd Rundgren many times.
Yeah.
There you go.
How old's Todd now? How old's Todd?
He's 77.
Unbelievable.
He's
What a-
still
You
killing
know,
it.
the thing that gets me about interviews is I interview a lot of old timers, but I
Yeah.
interview a lot of people, young and not or whatever. But I interview a lot of old timers, and you know they'll talk about their favourites and all this sort of stuff and some of their connections. And the young people, just have no idea about what these people were like. You know, even if you talk about um, what's its name? Oh, I've gone blank. But Todd was one of those people that were just he was huge,
Absolutely.
and now
And
people
his
couldn't
contribution's so vast.
contribution so vast. Even Prince, people know Prince, commercially because there's a lot of stuff. But if you really knew what he was about and what he did and the way he did it, it was unbelievable. Even Jackson. I mean, the fact that well, I don't know how old you guys are. I'm an old timer, but when he was coming through, the stuff he was doing was just ridiculous. It was just unbelievable. It was just another thing. It's like going from pop tennis to a computer game. He was just coming out with all these videos and stuff, and we're all going, this is unbelievable. No wonder they made a stack of dough and got MTV going.
That's it.
So Todd, he's still healthy and well?
Yeah, very. And yeah, I was just going to say, like, if you could talk about a topic for hours, I could probably talk about Todd as well, but that's another episode.
Well, it is another episode. I'm going to start doing a pod at some stage about consciousness because I like to get people crying in 10 minutes. That's an objective I've got. So maybe we can do a session on that at some stage as well. You know,
Yeah.
famous people that you know as a result of your music relationship.
Oh, exactly.
Because if you look at Cooper and Glenn Campbell were best mates.
Yeah.
So you'd never think so because Cooper looked like, but he's such a conservative sort of guy, Alice Cooper, apart from on stage. And you know, they were mates. And Campbell was probably he says Campbell was the best guitarist he ever played with,
Yeah. And that doesn't surprise me.
and he played with everybody. And Glenn Campbell, we know as just like a rhinestone cowboy, but he was just a. So things we can find out. Favorite person in history, apart from me.
um, Gosh, in history. Look, I'm just going to go back to Prince. Prince is my North Star. So,
Yeah.
It's a good answer.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's a good
Prince. I'm
answer.
going with Prince as well.
I think it's a good answer, and I don't think he was he 5 foot what 2?
Yeah.
He probably wasn't. He probably wasn't. Maybe he was bigger than that. And last question, and you both look like clean skins. You both look like butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. Favorite tattoo?
Definitely a clean skin. Definitely a clean skin. I'm not no problem with tattoos, but
Mondo Freaks, with the big Mondo Freaks, and you got people there without, musos that haven't inked their body. It's not right.
we might be
No.
from that weird, yeah. The generation before us and the generation underneath are all sort of covered.
Everyone now, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter who they are. My daughter keeps coming home saying, "Look what I got, another one." And beforehand it was more a, gangster sort of, or more a, if the tattoo guy came across the road sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's it, guys. That's it. I don't know how valuable it was. I don't know what sort of an experience it was. It moved me. So
I think all news is good news. Thanks for talking to us.
I think at the end of the day, my view is we don't have a lot of views on YouTube at the moment, but I was never really worried about that because I think that once we start podcasting and doing different things, we'll direct people back to things and maybe they'll get seen later rather than now. So what you can do is you can help out though. So when we share this thing, I'll get you to put it on Instagram or something and collaborate or tag us or something, and you'll be able to share it with our fans. And I think that's one way you might get a few views anyway.
No
But it's
worries.
good. I think it's always good. I always love doing these interviews because they're like, 30 minutes of your time that you're never going to get back. And so you really want to find out something about, what's happening. And you do, you find out something, everyone's different and all that. And I think Mondo's unique. The story's a bit unique because it's not the traditional, every 2 years an album comes out and then we tour it and, we're commercial, we sell some t-shirts and away you go. You can't have too much of a commercial objective with a band that brings out, one album in 17 years. It's not the sort of thing, but it's probably popular with the people that like to come and follow whatever it is that you do. So for the people that know, they get a payoff. And that I think is part of the music environment. The music industry is full of people that are quality that aren't, drop your name, like that bird that died in the 70s or 80s or 90s or whatever. That blonde girl that sang like I can't remember their names, man. That's what happens when you get to a certain age. Eva Cassidy.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
She died very young, and her music's getting played more and more now than it probably ever did then, and it's magnificent. That's it.
We've got another release in it before it starts turning into posthumous releases.
Yeah, you've got another release in you.
Yeah.
Really? Well, it's on now. We've cracked the seal, so we have to
Oh, it's on the drawing board.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. We'll talk about that next time. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, mate.
All the best.
Thanks.
Be well. Bye.